Well, hello everybody. Good evening and welcome to the penultimate class in this summer's offering of advanced programming with Java here at Portland State University. So this is sort of the last lecture style course, lecture style class that we're going to have. Next week will be the final exam. Boy, it seems like the term as always has blown by. I'm sure doubly for you all, although I'm sure there were some times where it actually was going kind of slowly. So let's see here. A preview of what we're going to do tonight. We're going to open up the Prime Minister's questions, any lingering questions about Project 4, stuff that's happening with Project 5. There's been some good conversation on Slack, but I'm not too sure where people are with Project 5. And so then I think my primary goal tonight is to get people the information they need so that they can make good progress on Project 5 between now and next week. I also, after we do Prime Minister's questions, or maybe as part of Prime Minister's questions, we can talk about the final exam, what the expectations are there, so that everybody can also be well prepared for next week. So, if you have a question, there's something I'd like to talk about, please raise your hand using Zoom here, and I will call on people in the order in which I believe people raise their hands. So, who's got something they'd like to discuss? Nothing? I'll start asking you all questions then. And feel free to unmute yourself to answer. Actually, let's see here. Actually, no, raise your hand if you want to talk. I'll start off some questions with you, though. Project 4. So, had a couple extra days. What were some of the big takeaways? What were some of the things that you learned about working with servlets, with the REST API, with client-server programming?
Having the client helper class turned out really useful. Like, kind of helps you break things up, and so main or whatever is using the servlet isn't like just tons of code.
Thanks. That's one of the things that, when I introduced that helper class a couple of years ago, I wasn't sure if it was going to help or if it was going to hinder, because on the one hand, it encapsulates a bunch of logic and, lets you, shows you here's how you can, design your code, how you can have different objects that have different responsibilities. But it's also, it's also more code and more things you need to figure out. And but otherwise, if your main was doing all of the URL manipulation and all that kind of stuff, that could be, that would make for some kind of hard to work with code. Let's hear. Oh, a couple comments came in from the chat. Mocking. It was a concept I didn't quite understand until I had to do it. A lot of concepts are like that, right? And in Mockito, there's some magic there. But I saw a number of you have gotten comfortable enough with it so that you could use it to effectively test your code, and that's the that's the goal, to make sure that we have good unit tests that run quickly and validate what need to be validated, cover the code that's written. So hopefully Mocking and Mockito was able to help you with that. So your comment, I played around with SOAP like 20 years back. This is the first time I've seen so clearly how REST maps into HTTP verbs. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, and consider yourself lucky that you don't, SOAP was this, what was it? Simple Object Access Protocol. And if you have to put the word simple in your acronym, it's not simple, and it wasn't. And so then it was an attempt at having web services that had common APIs, that had common data formats, and everything was strictly enforced with tools and everything like that. And so, and it worked, but it was pretty complex, had a lot of overhead, and it has since fallen out of favor towards REST, which is more simple, believe it or not, that leverages HTTP and HTTP verbs and standard data formats, whether it's text, whether it's JSON, or other stuff like that, for data interchange. So good. I'm glad that you found REST more straightforward. Couple more, people weighing in on Mocking and how it was challenging until it wasn't. That's good. Yes, someone was glad to hear that mosquito isn't pronounced like mosquito, but he's disappointed that juice is not pronounced like goose. I'm sorry, you know, we all have these challenges in life to overcome. Cool. Uh, oh, question: are servlets still commonplace now, or has Node.js usurped? Well, I mean, Node is a completely different runtime. Node, I believe, is not implemented on top of the Java virtual machine. It's its own runtime, which is fine. Um, uh, Servlets are, you know, are the technology that really underlies all of the Java web frameworks. So whether you're working with something really old like Java server, JSPs, Java service pages, server pages, there you go, Java server pages, or you know, more modern attempts at trying to do all that. And at the end of the day, you know, the HTTP request is delivered to a servlet, and then some servlet underneath the covers will do something like, oh great, you know, go call this big framework to handle the requests and stuff like that. So, and that's the reason that I focus on them in this course. I want to give you experience with the fundamentals of things. That's why, you know, we sort of focus on the fundamental APIs, and you know, we're not focusing on Spring or on some of these other, you know, other frameworks, which are fine and good. They tend to have a, you know, a shelf life of only a couple of years, and so then you know, and you know, and this is not a course where you like learn a specific framework. Or maybe you can say that about Android, but you know, you're really not learning specific, you know, big frameworks. We only have 8 weeks, and what I want to provide you is sort of enough fundamentals so that when you do see a framework, you sort of you know, understand what's happening at the lowest level to help you then understand, appreciate, and debug what's happening at higher levels. Nice. Good. Okay. Well, thanks for that insight into your experiences with Project 4. How's project? Well, actually, sorry. Let's. I'll stop beating around the bush. The final exam, right? Okay. So next week is the final exam. Remember the final exam? It's worth 12% of your grade. Let me just double check on that. I can never remember. On the syllabus, yeah, I think it's 12%. Final. Yep, 12%. So you know, your project 5 is worth 15, and so that's a very clear cue that if you're going to invest in something over the next week, put more time into making your project 5 awesome than in studying for the final exam, because it won't help you that much. That being said, of course, you still need to do it. So the final exam is in 2 parts. The first part is a written part, and it's basically like 2 quizzes put together. It's the same kind of questions, in that it's short answer. While you will need to know Java language concepts and some familiarity with APIs, you will not be writing code. You will be you know, answering questions about Java and how it works. As far as what's covered on it, all lecture material is in scope. The stuff at the beginning of the term is emphasized a little bit more because you've had more experience with it. But anything that's in the lecture is fair game. And this is okay. It's a little weird in this environment. So the final exam will be delivered using D2L. It'll be online. It will open promptly at 5:40, I believe, next week. So we'll have 10 minutes to get everybody in class and you know, get everybody together. And then I will open it up at 5:40. There's 6 questions. I usually give about 40 minutes or something. If people need if people have like a DRC exception or something, please reach out to me before then so that I can grant you an exception on the exam. Yeah, and the content will be you know, like 2 quizzes worth of short answer questions. The exam is open book, open notes. What that means here is you can you can download and read the PDFs. Like that would be equivalent to printing out the lecture slides. Please do not use any other yes, please do not use any other resources though. While you know, so no, you can't Google it or Stack Overflow it. or even use IntelliJ to figure out what the APIs are. The intent here is that this is supposed to be your own work. What's known in your brain is the nature of an exam. This is the same expectation that I had for the quizzes. So that's the first part of the exam. The second part of the exam is a group part of the exam. I've called it the oral part of the exam just to give people anxiety. Life's too short. Everybody's got enough anxiety in their lives. I'll be a little more specific about what this means. Basically, there'll be a group activity. Again, not involving coding. This will be a group conversation where you collaborate with some of your peers to talk about a problem, to brainstorm some solutions to it. I'm not going to give any more hints than that. But in terms of planning your week next Wednesday, plan for about 45 minutes for the written part, and then probably another 45 minutes for the group part also. It's a little, it's something that I've always done in my course. It's a little unorthodox to have group work be part of the final exam. The vast majority of those 12 points goes to the written part, which is your own work. But software development's a team sport, and I want us to work in teams. So mob-like, yes, we'll break out into breakout rooms. We'll have 4 or 5 people in each breakout room. And that group of people will work on this activity collaboratively. It's an activity that's meant to spur your creativity and to make you think big about some big things. Yes, Alex, question on that.
Yeah, I was kind of curious. Maybe you don't want to get into it, but I was kind of curious what the deliverable then would be in the group.
It's
project?
a report out back to me.
Okay.
So you'll have a discussion. You will bounce ideas off of each other. You'll make some decisions about what you want to do, and then you'll send me some a report out of what your team decided in an email.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions with the final exam? Alex again.
Sorry, someone seemed to ask a question about the
sorry.
short answers in the chat.
Do you still want a couple of sentences in the test short answers? Yes. So the written portion will not be your dissertation on Java servlets. Just a couple of answers. Yeah. So next week is the final exam, and Project 5 is also due. So on Project 5, I'm trying to think of what we want to do tonight. I guess and here I said again, my goal is to give you the information you need to be successful with Project 5. Hopefully everybody's watched the lectures. I've seen a number of students already dive in. So how can we best use this time tonight? Let's see here. Maybe I'll ask this question, and please use the yes and no replies. How many people feel that they have just gotten started, or maybe haven't started yet with the Project 5? Okay, pretty much everybody, and that's fine. Sorry, is that yes or no? So the yes is I'm feeling like I'm still just beginning, and I'd like some help getting off the ground. So, sorry, is that yes or no? Yep. Okay, then. I'm all but a couple of people. Right. Some people just made a hello world to get off the ground. Okay, and that's cool then. So, and so then, okay. So what I'm thinking, and let me know if this would be helpful, is that I start with a new Android application, and just sort of walk through some of the pieces, parts, and the interactions. Would that be helpful? Just sort of watching me start something. It won't be the phone bill application necessarily, but it'll be me poking around with Android, and you'll have some questions. Or you can ask some questions. I'll try to answer them. I'm seeing people say yes, and I think so, and okay, good deal. Well, let's do that then. Okay. So let's see here. I have got my Android Studio right here. And let me arrange my screen accordingly. Okay. So I walked through things last time. Um, and so we saw the pieces, parts of the application. You've got Java code. Actually, wait a second. What is this? Sorry, that's Scott's code. Sorry, Scott. That is something else I'll keep for reference later. Let more people in. Here we go. That's the example code. Where's mine? Open recent. Here we go. You probably can open a new window or replace the other one. Let's have a new window. Good. Okay. So we created a project and opened it up in Android Studio. We walked through a little bit of this last week. I'm just going to give a quick refresher just to get our bearings. So an Android application consists of Java code that does work, right? All the logic inside an Android application is expressed in Java. So this is the things that handle user events. These are things that store, load and store and model data is in Java. And then also there's all these resources, and these are files that describe describe the UI, the actual physical thing, the thing that's drawn. And so there are various things. So in the we saw that there are these things called activities, and activity is essentially a screen. And that these activities have life cycles, and they have methods that are invoked in different times of their life cycles. And backing this, or rather related to this activity, is the screen that is drawn when the activity is activated. And there's a mapping between the two. And so the main activity maps this activity main, and there's all sorts of configuration files that weave everything together. But Android Studio makes it nice and easy to navigate between the two with this navigation over here in the gutter. Understanding, like you go to the manifest or the layout file. I want the layout file. And also in the layout file, we have the raw XML here that describes all the components in the layout. But there's also this design view. And I guess this is light and dark mode. I don't really remember what this one is. But as you can see, this allows you to get information about the widgets. What did I just do there? Oh, it's telling me replace tag with fragment container view. Okay, I'm going to change this in a little bit anyway, so I'm not going to worry too much about these things. Anyway, and so you can edit things over here. And because we're dealing with Java code, Java source code and XML files, all this stuff can be stored in GitHub very easily. And then anything that's binary is built by Android using the Android SDK, and it's all driven using a tool called Gradle, which is the successor to Maven. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to noodle around on some code to give you an idea of the kinds of things you can do while building your application. I'm going to explore sort of concepts, so things like creating widgets and moving between activities and handling mouse events. And so this is meant to sort of give you context. I'm not going to be implementing a phone bill application. That's your job. That's your assignment. But hopefully by walking through this, we can sort of see in real time how the application might be. Yeah, that sounds like a relaxing evening. Yeah, for you maybe. No, it doesn't sound a relaxing evening for anybody. But we'll sort of see what it's like to develop an Android application. Someone says, hey, I want to learn about layout components. There's some of that in the lecture to see all the different types of components, and there's tons of other layouts and things out there. Android really is quite sprawling in its APIs and its libraries, which is fine because that's what you want. You want lots of options. You want new things in your in your mobile apps or small device apps. But where I'm just going to focus on sort of like things that I think are kind of tried and true and straightforward, again, good for your first Android project, it's not necessarily what you would use if you're doing this in the real world. And then fragments versus activities, that's probably not something I'm going to cover too much, mainly because I'm not I'm not very expert on fragments, and so I don't know the difference. I know what the difference is. I don't really know where to apply each, and again, I'm sort of trying to put some nice boundaries on stuff. So, as I was telling people in office hours, your goal shouldn't be, hey, it's my first Android application. It should be the best Android application ever and should leverage all the, latest design patterns and tools. Nope. Get something to work. And that is a really great exploration for a couple of weeks here at the end of a course in school. You'll have opportunities either in other courses or professionally or just on your own to learn more about Android. But your goal here should be get something that works, get something that that you feel good about, something that you think will work well, and get that really solid. And yes, we will be covering how to handle mouse events. And probably just mouse events tonight. And click, like on, which will actually be like a button event. Okay. So one of the first things I wanted to do is change the layout that's being used. Oh, sorry, this is not, I wanted this activity. Did I just change something? Oh, here we go. This is this coordinator layout, which to me seems a little overkill. So I want to change this instead to be a constraint layout. Constraint layout. Good deal. Oh, I've got this view down here. I'm just gonna minimize that. Gonna minimize the event log also. Okay. Give myself a little more screen real estate. And the reason I'm doing this is because, well, honestly, I think it's a little more straightforward to use. And let's see here. Yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of all that and change that. Cool. To constraint layout. And let's see here. Then here in design, I'm gonna play around with the designer a little bit. Why not? So I'm gonna add a button. And this appears to be sort of absolute positioned, and that's fine. And I'm going to change the, oh, what doesn't it like? Yes, and it's telling me, okay, you don't put any constraints on it, even though you're inside a constraint, and that's fine. So I will set some constraints. Where's the constraint? Sorry, I have to go back here. Constrained height. And let's just see this and see what it does. So the text, it wants me to use a string resource. I think IntelliJ will just fix this. Sorry, Android Studio will fix this for me. So I'll say launch calculator. I'll write a simple calculator app, which will probably be good enough. And oops, so I'll make this a little bigger. Yeah, because if I don't add constraints, I'm pretty sure if I then go and launch it, which we make their calculator read and write to files. I might, if there's time. We will see. I'll go and launch it. Meanwhile, while it's launching, I will go bring up the API documentation on Constraint Layout to show you the API documentation. Constraint layout. There we go. It's that one. So many windows, Zoom. Let's see here. So this tells you all about it, how you do relative positioning and things like that. And so the whole idea is that you say, hey, listen, I've got some widget inside my container, and you can say it is to the left of or to the right of some other widget. And this is kind of nice when you've got just like a handful of widgets. There are other ways to sort of put things in a column or whatever. But the nice thing about this is there's sort of springs in between, and so then everything gets positioned nicely. So now if I go and I look at where's my emulator, and I launch my phone bill. Oops, it hasn't not loaded yet. Can you share the rubric on grading for this project will go, since it's largely our own creation and creativity? Rubric. This is not a word that we had when I was a student. So, but no, basically, primarily it's functionality, right? So can you do the stuff that the assignment calls out in terms of managing a phone bill? And then creativity is, basically, is it usable? Does it look natural, and is it usable? Can I figure it out? So, don't invent like a whole new interaction paradigm in the name of creativity. But really, the creativity comes in how you solve the problem and how you leverage these tools. Can we consider you the client? Yes, except that I'm not paying you. Well, I guess I kind of do pay you in your grade. But yeah, I mean, I'm the person. So then I don't know what that means exactly. But yes, I mean, I'll be the person that'll be testing it. Product owner, maybe. Nah, no, I think the user, the customer is me. Oh, okay. Sorry, things are breaking because I got rid of a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't exist anymore. That's fine. Let's see here. I don't think we've got the. I don't have the menu options anymore. I don't have this thing anymore either. We're just making things pretty nice and simple. Let's try the build again. The amount of snark you put in the error handling, yes. Do we write any test code? You do not have to write test code. You might benefit from it. I don't really have a lot of content on testing Android yet. So then, no, it's not required. And unlike projects 1 through 4, there's not a code coverage requirement. So is an activity a particular page screen in your app? Yes. I think that's a fine way to think about it. Oh, nice. Okay, good. It built, so maybe this means that I can deploy it now. Okay, now it launched. Now I want to know what question Luke was answering no to. It's like, is this at all useful? No. Okay, excellent, good. Okay, here you go. And to its word, because I didn't put any constraints on the button, it shows up in the top left. Because it's not constrained, it's just sitting there floating, and so that's where it puts it at 0, 0. So let's go and fix that. So let's go back to our activity, and yep, it's putting it in a crazy place. I thought there was a, oops, I thought there was a way to, I thought there was a way to easily correct this inside Android Studio. But yes, yeah, what I'll have to do is I'll have to set the layout constraint on it. Well, I can drag the circle. Okay. Oh, yeah, do this, don't you? Right. Thanks. So basically constrain it to the top, and you probably want to constrain it side to side. Nice, that puts in the middle. Let's just see what that does to the XML. Great. It adds all of these. It says, oh yeah, it's these constraint attributes to your button, and it says yes, basically constrain it relative to its parent, and now everything will be well, basically again, it's has this equal gravity away from the sides of its parent, and so now when I reload it again, I think I can just hit the apply changes for start. You don't have to do the whole thing. Yep, it reloaded again, and now it's in the center. Good progress. Other thing we want to do is we don't want a hard-coded string here. And I think there's an autocorrect. Yes, extract string resource, and we'll just call that launch calendar. And then that puts it over here in the strings file, and just added that. And let's see here. I don't think we need any of that stuff anymore. We'll just need this. Okay. So cool. Let's run this one more time. There are two ways to launch the app. There's this one here on the right, which is sort of a quick thing. Oops. What didn't it like? Oh. I don't need. Which file is this? Fragment. I don't need these fragment files anymore, because I'm not using those fragments. I probably don't need the content main anymore either. Let's just delete these two. Delete. All sorts of stuff. Okay, I'll clean this up later. So your question about rotating the emulated phone. Oops, things are still failing. Earthed. Okay. Yes, I will commit these files to GitHub. I'm not sure about that question about rotation. Sorry. And one more. What is all this stuff? Can I have an empty menu? Nope. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, let's just delete a whole bunch of stuff. Sorry. Let's see here. Those two, delete all the content. I'm just going to start over again with a lot of stuff. Delete anyway. I also want to delete some of these. So your first fragment, I want to delete. Second fragment, I want to delete. Let's see what else is. What am I looking at here? Navigation. Delete that. Once more with feeling. Yeah, probably I should have started a new project with an empty activity. But since I thought, oh great, we'll just use that other one. It has more stuff I didn't really want after all. But it seems happier now. Okay, I'm just going to deploy again. Just make sure everything still looks okay. Kill the old one, starting a new one. Nice. Now I click my launch calculator button and I don't do anything, and that's fine. Okay, so let's commit this stuff so that people can see it. And I'll say start over with a more simple Android application that just has a button. It doesn't do anything yet. Okay, so that's getting pushed up to GitHub, and that's in the summer 2020 repository. Now, when I want to, here my main activity, I'm going to get the button. So now, button, I'm going to call it launch calculator equals find by ID. Actually, did I give it an ID? So we go back to the activity. It does. It's ID called button. I don't like that. I'm going to call that, instead of button, I'm going to call it launch calculator. And now when I go get here, I'm going to say R. So R is this magical class that references all of your resources. So RID dot launch calculator. So we're going to get that button. It is magic, and that's that's kind of the that it's on purpose, because otherwise, if you had to like call some API, it would just be ugly, or even more ugly. So so this gives me a reference to the launch button, and as you notice, when I click on the launch button, nothing happens. I want something to happen, and the way I make things happen is I register a listener. So on click. Set on-click listener. And on-click listener is an interface that you can implement. I like to implement them with an anonymous inner class. Keep going. And so this is the code that's called when the button is clicked. I think what I'm going to do for right now is just say, oops, don't have keyboard focus. Let's say toast. So toast is a little pop-up thing that will that pops up a little piece of text, sort of an info thing. The context here is going to be the main activity.this, and then you can have a string which is like I was clicked, and then the duration, I think this is in milliseconds. I blinked and 5 lines appeared. Yes, that would be the IDE. And then let's see here. I can't remember if that's milliseconds or if it's seconds. Let's see here. Toast is created, not showed. Cut for call show. Yes, very good. And then show. Oops, what doesn't it like? Oh yeah, right. Okay. Toast dot length. We'll just have a long one. Okay, can I explain a little bit more what contexts are? Well, contexts are, and let me make sure this works, right? Make sure I've got it right. And then I'll explain. I mean, context is just the widget that to which it is relative. Oops, what doesn't it like? Oh, I gotta deploy it for real. Okay. So, this is kind of common in UI programming, that some UI widgets sort of need something to anchor themselves to. So it's like, oh, what do I display myself relative to? Okay, I need a context or a parent or something like that. And so that's what you use here. Oops. I can't tell. Is this thing reloaded yet? Said successfully. Oh, there we go. I was clicked. There it was, and it's staying up there for a long time. So when you click launch calculator, you'll get I was clicked. Debugging is just as important in Android as it is in any other kind of Java app. So I'll be doing a lot of debugging tonight, probably because I'll make a lot of mistakes. So it is relaunching. So when I kept saying wait for the debugger, and now Android Studio has attached. So now I click launch debugger. It stops at my breakpoint. And so then this, you've got it. It's a Java debugger, right? And so you can say, okay, here's where this information about the view, which is the button that was clicked. And so then, hey, you can do stuff with that view. Like maybe you want to get something about the text of the button or change the text of the button when it was clicked. Good stuff like that. But here, all we're doing right now is sending up a toast. Okay, good deal. And so then you can continue on your merry way debugging. I'm just going to actually stop debugging. Luke, did that give you enough context for your question about context? Sorry, did that answer your question about context? It's, yeah. Here, and actually context is an interface that I'm pretty sure, what's the best way for me to show that? Well, it's in the lecture notes too. To explain, there's this whole object hierarchy, and context is just something like an activity that then provides access to information about where a particular widget is. Mark calls out something really good here. He's talking about logcat and the log class. Holy mackerel, it is doing all sorts of stuff. I wonder why it's doing all of that. That is super obnoxious. We can then turn it down to just like warn. Ooh, even then, gosh, any errors going by? Huh, interesting. So I mentioned this in the lecture. There's a real operating system underneath Android, and it's got logging facilities. Because I mean, you're doing real software here, right? I mean, this is not toys. It's how Android and other small device applications are able to be so robust. I mean, think about it. These are running on millions of devices, and in the case of Android, some very diverse devices. And in order to make that happen, you need to have real software tools like debuggers, like development environments, like logging, so you can see what's happening. And so Mark mentioned the log class, and let's just take an example of that here. So we can say log, and there's all sorts of things. So we can add, well, let's add like an info level, log here, and it takes a tag, and so we'll just call this main activity. That's something you can identify, so you can like search for that, and we'll see that here shortly. And the message is, the button was clicked. So now when I actually I'll just debug there, so it makes it a little bit easier. I will rerun the debugger. It's kind of interesting to watch the, well, I was gonna say, it's kind of interesting to watch the log go by, but maybe that's just me. I'll put all the info on. But it gives you an idea of, yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, Mark's got some good advice of saying, yeah, like debug/main, or I think you want like info/main. I haven't gotten there yet, so not surprising. Like now when I click launch the calculator, yep, there it is. It stopped there. If I go over to logcat and then I say next, poof, there's my log message. So debugging is a great way to debug your code, but so is leaving your log messages, especially if things are getting a little complex or you need to understand the order of things. Log messages are cool stuff and are very valuable. Okay. So now when let's see here. Now I want to change it so that when I click my button, I want to launch a different activity. So I'm going to create another activity. Well, and the way you switch between activities is with something called an intent, right? We learned about this here. And then see, I'm just going to call it launch calculator. Well, I already have something called launch calculator. Let's call it intent. Equals intent dot new intent. Wait, I can't remember now. Is there a factory? You just create a new intent. Maybe you do. Yep. And again, okay, you give it the sorry, why am I not seeing the thing that takes a class? Let's go look at the API. There you go. I don't have the Android API at my fingertips as much as I do the Java API. So I find myself going back to the API documentation quite a lot, even for sort of basic things like how to deal with intents. And oh my gosh, it's slow. Okay. So you can read all about this in the lecture and here, there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have what's called an explicit intent, which says, hey, go directly to this activity, as opposed to an implicit intent, which is like, hey, I want to do something like, play some music or view an image. Please launch an activity or an application that will do that. Yeah, we got intent filters, all sorts of good stuff here. What I'm really looking for is the actual API. Oh my gosh, so many constants. Sorry, maybe there's an easier way to navigate to all this stuff over here. Public constructors. Okay, package content. So I think what I do is I say the following, new intent, and then I say, I want to say main activity dot this, And now I want a new activity. I'll call it calculator. Oops. Calculator activity.class. Yeah, I've got to create one of those. Oops. Wrong window. And then I'm going to say start activity with that intent. Okay. So now we need to create a new activity. It's going to be there in our source directory. That's good. And then I'm going to have this extend an activity. Sure, we'll use this activity compatibility thing. Okay. Oops, I need to spell correctly. Shift 6. Nope. Calculator activity. Good deal. I also, oh, you know what? I probably, no, you know what? I didn't want to do this because Android Studio can help me out with this. So I can say new activity, and let's just try an empty activity. It's got all sorts of different kinds, but it's an empty activity. It goes to the wizard like you saw before. I'm going to call it calculator activity. Layout name, sure. It's not a launcher activity. It's not something that's there on the home screen. Package, sure. Okay. So it goes and adds a new one, and also gives me an XML file, which is super nice. Again with the magic, right? And here's the thing: it's okay to use the magic. It's okay to leverage all of these tools. Someone's done this for a reason, and as long as you understand what's happening, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. This is why, for me, I always start out with like, here's all the API and the pieces parts, and actually even before that, here's all of the stuff about the Android framework, so that you know it, so that you're exposed to it, because it helps you understand the magic, and when the magic does something that you don't expect, you can figure it out. But here again, instead of having like me create an XML file, no. Let Android do the heavy lifting so that you can focus in on all of the the nuance of the important stuff of writing your application. So it is not happy about this. Calculator activity. Yes, please do that. Okay. So right now I've got this rather empty calculator activity, but I just want to see what it does. So I'm going to launch it again. Let's see if I got my intent right. So let's see here. It's installing. You can tell because it's talking about it down there at the bottom. Okay, it's launching my app. Okay, with dramatic effect apparently. And I'm going to launch calculator. Ta-da! Okay, I've got something new, and there's nothing there, which is completely what I expected. Oh, it's interesting. It's got this phone bill up there. I wonder why it has that. Let's go see. Okay, so I guess it has that. So now I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna design my calculator. Actually, I'm gonna check in my code here again, just sort of like going quickly here. Let's see here, add a new activity for a calculator. Thank you, IntelliJ. It's empty right now. Before I go on, any questions about what we've seen? Any questions about going back and forth between activities? Sorry, I'll get the list of people up. Or actually, it's going to. We haven't gone back and forth yet. Nope. Okay. How to return? Yeah, I'll show. I don't have anything to return yet. That's also done with an intent. I'll show you. Curious about how and when to implement things like on pause. That's a good question. We were talking about that during office hours. You don't need to implement the lifecycle methods unless you actually need to. So I think the place that you'll find yourself doing that is when you need to perform an operation during a lifecycle event. In particular, before the activity is destroyed. I was working with a student that had his phone bills as modeled them as a field in his main activity, which worked fine until he rotated the device, and then everything went away. He's like, why did that happen? Well, because the activity was that at that activity instance, that activity object was destroyed, and a new one was created, and all your phone bills were lost. And so then, the solution that we had to that was say, well, okay, great. What you need to do is you need to override those lifecycle callbacks to at the appropriate time in activity's lifecycle, go out and write all your stuff to disk, and then when your activity is comes alive again, go read that stuff from disk so that that you have all the data that you created before. And whether that's on pause, if pause is the right place in the life cycle, great. It might also be on destroy or on create. This is a good way to use the debugger to figure out, well, when exactly am I are my lifecycle methods invoked. Okay, well, let's see here. Here in the in all of this, I am going to do the following. I gotta make this a little bigger so I can see it. I guess I can zoom in. There we go. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to create a text view. I'm basically going to have like number plus number equals whatever. So I'm going to have a text view here. Of course, well, let's constrain it. And then I want to have, yeah, okay. I'll have another text view, which is just simply has the text plus. And actually, this one, I want this to be a text field. I can't work in the editor. So text view, excuse me. I want this to be, well, I don't want this to have any text. And I want to say is editable. Oh, wait, editable equals true. Here I want this editable. Oh, it doesn't. Editable is, what do you do? Crap. What's the attribute? So I should go look at the text view API. Text view. That's probably what I want. Maybe use edit view. Yep, that's probably what I want. Oh my gosh, why does it take so long to load? I guess just it's there in the background. Yep. Okay. So yeah, so I want to use an edit text there. And luckily it told me, so it's here. I want an edit text. And I'll call this left operand. Text view, I'm not going to need this guy right here. Text is going to be plus. And then I'm going to have another edit text, which will be the right operand. Right operand. I'll have to fix all this later. And then I want to have a button. Let's see here. I want wrap content. Wrap content. You can read about what all this stuff means. Basically, like wrap content is like, hey, make the widget just big enough to display whatever its contents are. Don't make it like as wide as its parent. And here I want the value. Let's see here. Android techno text to be equals, and I want to give it an ID. of ID. I'll create the ID I'll call it equals. I want to perform. I want to. I'll call it execute. And okay, I'll fix all that. And then I want to have a text view. Oops, text view. Again, wrap content, and its name will be. This will be the result. So yeah, result. Oops. Okay, we'll do that. Let's see how it looks in the designer. Awful. Okay. So let's see if we can fix all of this. No, that was kind of dumb. I have two of these. Oh no, which one's which? Okay. Hopefully ID. Okay, there's the left operand right there. There's the right operand. Okay. Wasn't that interesting? Okay, so here's the left operand. And then we have plus. And so then we want this to be attached to that. I think we want that. Yeah. Okay. Want this thing to be anchored over that way. Plus, yeah, maybe this isn't the easiest layout to use. I don't know. Oops. What is going on there? Yeah, maybe we choose a different layout. So let's learn about layouts. Layouts. So things like constraint layout are, objects that that arrange other objects inside some sort of container, and does a great job of it. But what are some of our favorite layouts, like linear layout? Ronnie has gotten really good at this. Right click, then click center horizontal. Okay, so let's see here. So like if I select all these and I say right click and I say center horizontal, what does that do? I don't know. I don't think I like it so much anymore. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put all of these guys inside a linear layout and just see what happens. So let's see here. Linear layout. I'm going to say the width I want. Now let's wrap content and see what happens. And then actually put that down here now. And oops, it is not constrained. I'll need to constrain that. Let's see what the design looks like. Okay, that's way better now. So now put this guy here in the, there we go. Okay, that looks, I'm missing something though. What am I missing? I am missing the result. I want these text views to be a little wider. So is it width? So let's see here. Width is, actually, is that correct? It looks like containing div in HTML. Yeah, it's the same kind of concept where you have containers that contain other things. So let's go back to text view and let's see here. How many characters wide is? Oh my gosh, why does it take so long to load this documentation? It's kind of crazy. That's layout width, max width. How many pixels? I want number of characters to display though. Well, maybe I can just do that. The min width in pixels. Yeah. Okay. So let's see here, this is going to be the min width is going to be, let's say, 5 points. How does that look? Nope, let's, nope, text, content, description, all attributes. Oh, okay, I done this instead of looking at the documentation. So instead of this, let's do 20 points. There we go, that's a little better. So let's see here, it's like, okay. So let's go up to 30. That looks good. Okay. And then here, max M's, min lines, line spacing, lines, long clickable. For the edit text, I thought there was a way to say, hey, here's how many characters wide I want it to be. Let's go back and look. Let's go back to edit. Oh, actually, am I looking at, no, I'm not looking at text view, I'm looking at edit. I want edit text. I think it was mentioned on this page at the very top. Yep. Should probably be opening these up in different tabs so I can go back and forth quicker. And let's see here. Where are all of the, well, I'll search for width. We'll look for cars. One. Characters. Nope. I'm trying to figure out, hey, is there a nice way that I can say, here's how many characters wide it is? It looks like there's not. I always get this API confused with other windowing APIs that I've used over the years. So let's see here. We probably want min width. We'll also make that 30 point. What do we got there? That makes it nice and long. And we'll do the same thing over here. Nope, we'll do the same thing. Well, where is it? There it is. Min width, 30 points. There we go. Now everything's adjusted. Cool. I want to make this plus a little bigger though. So let's see here. How do I, where's the font? Font family, font size. What can I do? Something like search for size? Oh, I can. Great. Text size. Yeah. Make it bigger. Nice big plus. Okay. Cool. Oh, it's not really spaced evenly, but you know what? I can figure that out later. Okay, cool. So now we've got something that looks like a calculator. In that, it's a very simple calculator. I put in a left operand, a right operand. I'm going to click the equals button, and it's going to print out the result right there. We'll see how it looks. Okay, and that layout looks pretty good. So now I'm going to run the app again. Go back there. It looks like it uninstalled it. Now it's installing it again. Going to go to my calculator. Great. Now I've got this. Other than the fact that this is kind of ugly looking, can you right-click from the component tree to set the layout? I'm not sure what you mean, Max. Is it possible, or would you please do that? What's that linear layout do? Oh, set sample data. That's kind of neat. Huh. Yeah, convert linear layout to constraint layout. Well, actually, let's play with that after we commit to see if we like it. Okay, so this seems to be doing what we want. We can enter in stuff here, and we can click equals. And okay, this is all very well and good. So let's commit what we have right now, because we've got stuff sort of like where it's looking in. Oh, we only changed. Yeah, that's true. We just added some widgets to the calculator. Oh, this component tree over here. Can you right click from the component tree to set the layout? Oh, over here. Yeah, oh, interesting. What is it saying? A text field. Oh, it's giving me like some nice little warnings and stuff. It's probably, oh, input type. Oh, I'd like that. Yeah, let's fix that. Then it doesn't. I wish it would just give me autocorrect from here, but maybe that's. Let's see. Let's see here. So input type, and oh, okay, cool. Input type. We want this to be a number. Let's have it be a decimal. And same thing with, oops, why is it pink there? Okay, and same thing with this edit text then. Doesn't it like autofill hints attribute? Oh, that's neat. Okay, sure. You can give me one of those too. Set autofill hints, and then what is this? This is like a little thing saying number. I don't know. What does this do? Too much, too much. So now if I launch it again, oh, interesting. It doesn't have number because it's too small. Okay. Cool. Well, anyway, yeah. So there's all sorts of stuff that it's telling. Let's see here. Missing accessibility label. It's got hard-coded text. Wants me to use autofill. Okay, nice. It's giving all sorts of interesting information about these. And actually, what I just did there, I believe, is yeah. So I'm trying to type things that aren't numbers. It's only giving me numbers to choose from and decimal numbers and stuff. So yeah, so that's using that. So that just gives me a different kind of keyboard. Okay, that's neat. I can do numbers now. And as a matter of fact, you can write your own custom validators and keyboards and stuff like that, but probably beyond the scope of what you want to do here. Okay, so yeah, I'll make a couple. I made both of those numbers, I believe. I'm going to remove that autofill hints. I don't think it's not going to display what I want it to. Okay, and let's see here. This other edit text. It needs an input type, and it's going to be an input type of number, decimal. Cool. And as you saw, there were all sorts of different kinds of. Oh, look, huh? You can even like say it's a date or it's got auto. Okay, yep, number decimal or cap text words. And oh yeah, look, there's a phone one. Yeah, neat. Okay, all sorts of stuff like that. Text postal address. Yeah. It's here again. Someone's already written this code. They want to make it easy for you, and they make it easy for you so that you'll develop for Android, so that people can sell more phones on this platform, right? It's a win-win. It's the circle of life. It's capitalism at its finest. Okay, nice. So now we've got all this stuff here. Does that determine what kind of keyboard it gives you? Yeah. So like as we just saw, here now that these are numbers, you get a okay. So this one is a number field right now. I haven't redeployed it, so you'll only get numbers here in the keyboard. And then this one, I didn't put any constraints on yet, so you can have any text you want, which is not what we want, right? It's good to constrain it. Okay, so we put those constraints on it. Excuse me, on it. And now let's start doing something with this. Okay, so now I've got basically a very simple form, if you will, for my calculator. So now let's go to the class. Okay, so now when the calculator is created, we're going to do the following. Let's calculate some stuff. So let's see here. We're going to get the button, which is we're going to call it execute, which equals find view by ID r.id.execute. And now we're going to add a on-click listener. There, new click listener, no on-click listener. And when this thing is clicked, what do we want to do? Well, we want to get the value of the left operand and the right operand, add them together, and set the value over there. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to go get our edit text, which is the left operand, which will be find view by ID r.id.left operand. No, it's called left operand, just be consistent. I want to do the same for the right operand. Right operand. Right operand. Now we want to get the values of those two. So we say left operand dot get get accessibility class name. No, I think we just want to say get text is the name of it. No, get here. I'm gonna cheat here again. I don't know this left equals. Oh, I guess just say toString. Really? That doesn't seem right. Get text dot. Is that right? I'm looking here at edit text. Okay, well, let's give it a try and see if it works. Doesn't seem right somehow. Actually, I'm just gonna I'm gonna debug this instead to figure it out. Calculator. 1 plus 2 equals. Okay, so let's see here. Left operand. Let's evaluate the expression. Left operand gives me all that stuff. Get text gets me a spannable string builder. Okie dokie. toString. Well, that gives me 1, so I guess that's pretty. That's what I want. Okay, cool. That gives me the text. I thought there was an easier way to do that. Maybe there's not. Okay, good. That's going to give me what I want. So now I want to do that for the left. I want to do that for the right. And now I want to say. Now, actually, you know what? I'm going to say this: int left equals integer.parseInt toString int right equals integer.parseInt toString, and now I'm going to have some. Oh, actually, and those aren't ints; those are doubles because they can be decimals. Double.parse double.parse double. And this will be double sum equals left plus right. And now I want to set the sum. I want to set that value of the result field. I think is the name of it. So that's going to be a text view. Result equals find view by ID r.id.result. And now I'm going to say result.setText. Let's see here. String.value of. Oops. Value of the sum. And let's see what this does. Let's see here. Do we need to do a? Oh, I'm debugging it, aren't I? Well, you know, let's just walk through it again in the debugger. Sure, why not? So I mean, for me, this is how I like to develop all my code, which is like write a little code, test it out. Actually, normally I would write unit tests for it, but here since we're just really trying to figure out how to do all of this stuff, it's easier just to like write a little bit of code and then play with it in the emulator. Oh, interesting. It didn't launch the app. Okay, I'm a little surprised by that. Launch calculator. Oops. 1 plus 2 equals, okay. So get my left, get my right, get my sum is 3. I find my text view, I set the text. Hasn't shown up yet, probably because this hasn't refreshed. Sure enough, there it is, 3.0, right there. So a little ugly, and make it look prettier, but this is like the fundamental pattern for working with UIs, right? You you design your UI, you create your widgets, you lay them out inside layouts. You configure information about them. Hey, what text is displayed? Oh, this thing's a number. This thing's empty, et cetera, et cetera. And then you write your logic for working with them, which is almost always in response to some user event, like clicking a button or entering some text or something like that. And then what you do, you get references to the Java objects that represent your UI widgets, like the edit text for the left operand and the text view for the result, and then you do stuff with it, right? You get information from the widgets that are used for input, and then you take that information, you perform some operation on it, like creating a phone call, and then you do something with the result, like displaying the result. And so this is sort of the, again, this is the pattern that that you follow in doing Android development. Any questions on that? How beautiful should our app look? What I'm looking for primarily is usability. So, garish colors or whatever isn't going to help me. Creativity, though, could also be, hey, look, I figured out how to do images. I, arrange things nicely. It's like your pretty printer, right? It's in the eye of the beholder, and it's like, okay, this is, does it demonstrate that you took some time to try to make your application look nice, as opposed to my application, which doesn't look nice right now. So yeah, okay. Ronnie asks, how's the navigation works? Ronnie, would you mind coming off mute and ask specifically what you mean by what about navigation?
Hey David, so if you go into the Angels tree here, you can see there's a navigation.
Sorry, in Android Studio or in the app?
No, in the IntelliJ. I mean.
Oh, okay, sorry. Navigation.
Yeah, there should be some kind of like a layout, like showing that which page going to another page.
Sorry, so like over here in the layout and in design view.
No, is there a way I can draw?
Alexander said resource navigation.
Yes, resource navigation. It should be the directory below the layout.
Oh, res navigation down here.
Yep.
Oh, that was something that.
You deleted
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah, I deleted it because it came with that other application. Was that the menu? I don't remember what that was. Sorry. Does anybody? I don't remember what that was used for. I can go back to an earlier version and see if you want. Oh, okay. It's part of Fragments. Okay. Moving between fragments. Yep. I'm not demonstrating fragments tonight, mainly because I don't know how to use them. And yeah, that was something that was created by that when we created the project and chose the, I don't even remember the name of the thing now. Yeah, that particular widget. Is it okay to stick to intents? Absolutely. Here again, I think they're more straightforward, and it might be a little clunkier in places, but you can get it to work. So yeah, I recommend that you use intents to move between activities and to shuttle data in between activities. Okay. it's time for a break, but before we do, what are some topics that you'd like to cover next so I can be thinking about how I approach the next part of class? People have mentioned file I/O, and yes, it's required. So yeah, data persistence. Okay, cool. Passing data through intents, storing data. Okay, I'll think about how to add that kind of stuff to my to the application here. Okay, good deal then. Let's take a 15-minute break. I'll take a 14-minute break. Come back at 7:05. Pause the recording. Okay, sorry about that little extra bonus minutes. It was kind of weird. Like, and I'm saying my routers. Let's see here. We're back from break. Let's do some more Android coding. I think I didn't check in my latest changes. So this is, let's see here, actually have the calculator activity do something. These are terrible commit messages, but commit and push. And push. Okay. So let's see here. I want to talk about passing data between between activities. I'm gonna have like kind of a contrived example because I'm not feeling terribly creative. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to have my my calculator activity send its result back to my main activity, and I'll have the main activity display it. I think that'll get the point across, although it's kind of a, like I said, a lame example. So so let's see here, and I don't know, should I? When you click equals, do I want to just, actually here's what I wanted to experiment with something. I'm gonna say the following. After I set the text, I'm gonna say, not text, I want toast. And, oh, what was the create a new toast thing? That sounded neat. Create a new toast. Okay, oh, look, yeah, that's kind of nice. That does all that for you. I want it to be a long toast. And then after, oops, length long, yep. And then I'm going to say redirecting back to main activity. Now, I can't remember if toasts are synchronous or asynchronous. Let's see what options we have for showing that. Add callback, cancel, get duration, get gravity, set duration. Oh, interesting. So I am going to do the following then. So I'm going to say, I'm going to show that. Sorry, going back and forth between Zoom things and not Zoom things. So I'm going to show that toast, and then I'm going to create an intent. You know, actually, I'm just going to say activate, start activity, new intent, and then again, calculator.this, calculator activity.this is going to be the context. Wait, sorry, wait. Yeah, context, and then the class is going to be, what the heck? Main activity.class. Let's just see what this does. And yeah, let's just run it and see what happens. Nope, that would not be the emulator. This would be the emulator. There we go, it launched it. So I click launch calendar. I put in my numbers, I click equals, it pops it up, and oh, it did it really quickly. So I wonder if there's a way to, so the toast is asynchronous. Thread.sleep doesn't seem right. Huh. Well, then let's make. Oh, I'll try that again. 3 plus 4 equals 7, and it was like super fast. Okay, so then let's just put another button then. Fine. Let's do that. And then let's go to the calculator layout. Let's go to design mode. Actually, what was this component tree you're talking about? Okay, that's neat. Let's add a new button. Let's constrain it to this guy. Oops, constrain it to this guy. And this guy. Nice. And let's just do this and this. Cool. And then let's call this text. Hello. How come I don't see the text size? How come I don't see the text field? What am I missing? Whatever. Button. Text is button. We'll call this back to main. And sure, we'll create a string for it. Make Android a little happier. Still looks good. Okay, back to main. Cool. And now in our activity, we will, in addition to having this button for execute, we'll have another button which is interesting. Back to main equals find view by ID r.id back to main. Oh, actually, I didn't create one, did I? Nope. I need to go give that button a name, not ID button, back to main. Do I like the underbars? Do I think I like camel case. Can I say back to main? And so when this is clicked, so when this is clicked on click listener, new on click listener, I want to go back to main, so I will create a new intent. Back to main. Nope, I already got one of those. So, oh, interesting. Let's call it intent equals new intent on new intent, and then calculator activity dot this for the context. And this will go back to main activity dot class, and then I say start activity with the intent. And then we'll deploy again, and now we'll have let's see here, it's building it. So right now I'm just taking the first step, which is just we'll navigate back and forth, see how to do that with intents. So we'll launch calculator, and then we'll go back to the main. There we are again. Okay, well, we know that works. That's not what we want to do, though. We want to pass some data back to main. And so then, what we want to pass back is the sum right here. And so then, let's see here. Let's turn this into a field. Now we're going to create on the calculator activity. And we'll call it sum, sure. But we want to make this a capital D double because we want its value initially to be null. And we'll do the following. We'll say on the intent, we will say, so intents have this stuff called extras. And so we can say set double, or sorry, we say add double, get double extra. Sorry, why am I not seeing the set data and type, set extra class loader? What am I missing here? Oh, is it put data? There you go, put extra. So name of it, the name of it. Okay, and the name, we'll just call it sum, and then we will put the value of this dot sum. Oops, not this dot sum, of the sum field inherited from the outer class. And actually, you know what? This, I guess, doesn't make any difference that it's a capital D, because I guess we'll go in as a serializable. I guess that'll be okay. We'll see if that works. So the whole idea is that with the intent, the intent is like either an explicit intent or an implicit intent. It's like, hey, go do something, and by the way, here's some metadata that we want to send off that thing that's being done, and that's all this extra right here. And instead of start activity with the intent, we're going to say start activity. There was that result. What was that result? Create pending result. Start activity for result. So start activity for result is basically a way of saying, oh yeah, we're gonna go start that activity, and by the way, there's some data. This is like the result of some operation. So like, when you're going from, and I think your example would be when you would create a when you would create your phone bill in your phone call in your phone bill, or maybe creating your phone bill also, but certainly creating your phone call, you would say, hey, here's like all the data that I want to present, and by the way, okay, I'm sending it this data off to somebody else to do something with it, like somebody else like manage the phone bill and then save all the information. So start activity for a result, and then this has a code which is something like I have it here in the notes. I need to go back to my notes here. Result okay. Result okay. And when this is, yeah. So now when what we'll see is that can pass data like a phone call instance, or does it have to be recognized types? You can make it serializable, although some people are trying that and having problems with that. So maybe we can do that next once we get this working. I think about it and see if we can get it to work. Let's get this one working first. So let's see how this goes. I wonder if we can just apply the changes, or if it's gonna not like that. No, it looks like it will. Good. I didn't change anything structural, so I guess it's all right. So now if I launch the calculator, actually, how would I know? Yeah, I don't know if start activity for result is going to give you any different results, so let's find out. I don't even know why I'm doing that, because that's fine. Oops, how do I minimize this thing? There we go. Back to main. It starts at here. Okay, but I want to see, as I recall, you handle the activity for result differently. So now if I go back to my main activity, it's not on create. There's another on method, I thought. Oops. How do you override a method here? Keyboard's different. Code, sorry. Override methods, Control O. Result. Yeah, on activity result. I think you override this now, and actually let's just set a breakpoint there, and I think we'll then get that same intent. Okay, go back here, we'll launch the calculator. Go back to main. Nope, we did not. Why didn't we do that? Let's go look up the results. I do not remember. So here, do I have? No, I don't think I have any details that here in the notes. Let's look for start activity for results and have it explain to us what all of this means. So Start, oops, start activity for result. Oh, well, that was getting a result from an activity. Sounds good. Let's see here, registering a callback. That's fragments and stuff. Oh, interesting. Following launch of the process of producing a result. This is more than I thought I needed. Testing. No, this isn't really what. Getting the result. Sending the user to another app. Getting results from an activity. I thought. No. Huh. I thought that this all looks way more complex than I thought. But maybe, maybe the create method is invoked again with the with that. Let me. But I thought for sure activity result is where it was delivered to. Oh, look at that. Somebody sent me the Stack Overflow. Thank you, Alexander. Like a second to finish. Oh, I have to call set result. Okay, that's why. That's right. I'm doing this wrong. Okay, so I knew I needed to override on activity result, but I didn't. Yeah. Okay. I didn't have this code associated with it. Okay. That's what I did wrong. Thank you. So let's see here. If I go back to calculator activity, I need to do a couple of things. I need to call set result. There you go. This is where I set result. Okay. In here, I need to say start activity. Right. I need to give it to an intent, but then I also need to give it like this code here that the main thing knows. So it's like, oh, what am I going to call that? Main activity dot calculator result. Sure. And doesn't matter. 43. Now let's try that again. And actually, let's do all that. Actually, do a call set result before or after? I think I call set result before, right? Oops. Okay, so it's creating here, and yeah, there's no new intent there. There's just the bundle. So that's not what I wanted. Now I'll go back to the app. I'll launch the calculator. I'll say back to main. Okay, sum is null. Well, that's interesting, which is true. Nope, it is not hitting. Oh, it's the other way around, isn't it? I call start activity for result in main, and it is the calculator that sets the result. Right. Duh. Got that backwards. And then this thing is called finish. It doesn't, right. Okay. Finish. That's right. And now I need to go back to calculator, although result, yes. Okay. I need to go back to main, and then when I start the activity here for the calculator, I say for result, and then the result is intent, and then the request code is going to be calculator result. And then in the, okay, once more with feeling. Okay, hopefully this now, then when the other activity finishes, that callback will be invoked. Launch calculator. Back to main. Yay! Okay, no, finished, not so yet. Yay! Okay, good. Now we get it. Okay, so this is the way it works. You've got your main that goes and launches the other one and says, hey, when I launch this activity, this is going to calculate something. This is going to do something for me, and then it's going to return a value back. So now if we look at the, oh, interesting. Why is the data null? So the request code was 43. The result code was -1, which is probably the value of that. Yes, that's good. But oops, I forgot to do something with the intent. What do I need to do with the intent? Set result. Okay, and I forgot to put the intent here. Okay. Because the data over here, oops, is null. Because that's true. When I said set result, I did not include that intent. Actually, that intent, did that need to have the activity? Not really. Okay, let's try this again. Launch my phone bill. Calculator. Say, let me just do a number. 3 plus 4 equals 7. Oh, yes. We already know this works. Oops. Make it small. Click back to main. The sum here in this is 7. So we will finish that, which then, oh, okay, it activates this. And what do we got? Yep, good. We've got our intent, and I guess let's debug that real quick. Let's look at data, and data.get double extra named sum, default to 9. We know it's not 9, but it's 7. Good. Okay. So this is how. Thank you, Stack Overflow, and thank you, Alexander. This is how you use intents to pass things between one activity that sort of launches another one to do some work and then to bring it back. Exactly, mobbing. Someone else, yes, I've got you all to Stack Overflow for me. Okay, well now we need to do something with this. So now that we know this is called with the right thing, what do we need to do? We need to say, oops, what doesn't like there? Oh, it should call super, okay. Good to know. Thank you, Android. So we call that, and then we just do some following. So if request code equals that results, shoot, what did it call? Calculator results. Because you can have it launch multiple activities for multiple reasons, right? So if it's calculator result, and well, yeah, let's say. And result code equals result okay. Then we'll do something. And what do we want to do? Well, we want to get the double, actually we want to get big D double result, which equals data, which is the intent, which is get double extra. It's interesting that it has like a default value. It's kind of dumb. So sum, and we probably want that in a constant, but the double value will be 0.0, I guess. I really wish it could be null, but I guess it doesn't work that way. Oh, we probably have to say has or something. may produce null pointer exception. It may. Okay. So that's, oh, okay. And data not equal to null. There we go. And actually, is there a, oops, data.has extra. Okay, cool. Okay, if it's, so it has, okay, so if everything's okay, and if data not equal to null, and data dot has extra, that sum that I passed in, then get the results, and let's just put in a toast or something like that for now. Oops. Toast make text, and this will be this, and result was result, and then long duration dot long. No, what was it called? Toast long. It's gonna do, and then complain that it's not a show. Oops. Yeah. Oh, come on! I told him before. There you go. Length short. Yeah. Length long. Okay. What it doesn't like the double, says auto boxing pipe may be primitive. Okay, fine. Use that. Okay. This is the pile because I'm missing a brace. There we go. Okay. So now let's see what happens when we run it. Launch calculator, give ourselves a sum. Actually, let's give ourselves something else. Like this one goes up to 11. Back to main. Result was 11. Okay, this is how you can pass things back and forth. So, questions on that? Yep. Okay. Now, I want something else. I want to use a new widget. I want to add to my main activity, I want to have a list of all of the sums I've ever created. So every time I create a new sum, I pass it back and I add it to something. So I'm going to use a new widget called a Listview. So let's go back to the activity here. And right now it just has a button. Okay, let's add something new. Let's add a list view and wrap content. Oh, you know what? No, sorry. We wanted to have a more complex object first. Let's try that. Let's try passing it capital I integer. What's the right? Nah, let's just create. Yeah. Okay. So I got an idea. Let's create a new class here. Right. Some kind of, yeah. I'll just call it an operation. And an operation will have. Well, we'll just create one of these over here. Calculator activity. So instead of double being a sum, it'll be an operation. And let's see here. Let's just say the value there. So this will still be a double. And this will be the result. I think I already have a result, don't I? No, I don't. Oh, I have it down there. Yeah, no, we'll call this sum. We'll call this fine. This dot sum equals new operation of left plus right. And then this will be sum dot get value. Sure. Get value will be a double. Return this dot value. Value, create field value is a double. I want to be final because I want to create it in the constructor. Sure. We'll call it a result, operation result. Oh, no, wait, no. We'll call it an operation. We'll add the plus and the minus and everything like that. Okay. What doesn't it like here? This dot sum. It's not in this, is it? It is in the parent object. Okay. Nice. Okay, so put extra. So, one of them is a serializable. So let's make it serializable. So serializable is an interface, is a magical interface that says that this object can be converted into a byte representation and converted back. And so then what the intent will do then is take this object, turn it into a bunch of bytes, include it in the intent, and then when you ask for it, it will reconstitute that object and return it to you. So let's see what it does. Okay. So let's see here, calculator activity. Okay, and so now we're going to put extra there. Okay, that's cool. So now back in main activity. Here, when we get the sum, it will not be a double, it will be an operation. And get serializable extra. Yep, there you go. And we need to have the toString of results. And so then we'll override override toString to be returns equals this dot value. This dot get value. Okay, so let's see what happens. Oops, what didn't it like? Could have one argue. Oh yeah, and it doesn't. I didn't give it the right thing. Wait, no. This is probably null. I don't know. What does this take? Oops. What is the signature here? Oh, okay. It just doesn't have a default value. Well, that makes sense. And what doesn't it like? Okay, I can cast that. Okay. Let's give it a try. Okay, it's applying the changes. Oh, okay. Nope, I added some stuff that required I do a real big deploy. So, okay, do the big deploy. Still, 838 milliseconds, well worth the wait. This wait, on the other hand, it's interminable. Okay. Launch calculator. I'll put something in. I'll put in 5 plus 1 equals 6. Get rid of the keyboard. Say back to main. Result was 6. So, okay. So it looks like a simple serializable will work. Let's try the phone bill. What the hell? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let me commit this. Demonstrated that a simple serializable object can be sent via an intent. So I wonder what's wrong with phone bill. Yeah, both phone bill and phone call should be serializable. I thought. Maybe I got rid of that. I don't know. Let me look. Abstract phone bill. It says implement serializable. And so phone call, and then let's add a phone bill real quickly. And we'll call that phone bill. Actually, well, let's just send the phone call and see if that works. And let's see here. Get caller. Actually, well, it's like, how about this? I'm calling you from then until now. And we'll make this voice. Okay. And so then also what I'll do is in the calculator activity then, I will put that extra. I will also say intent dot put extra, I'll call it phone call. And then I'll just put a new phone call. And then in the main activity, I will get that. And so if data is not null, then we'll do that. Oops. And if data dot has extra phone call, I put a space there, right? Nope, I did not. Phone call. I'll just do this. Phone call. What the heck was that? Phone call. Result equals phone call. And then this is your serializable name. Phone call. Phone call. And then phone call was that. Yep. Did one cover up the other? Oh, wait, there you go. Okay, so that seemed to work. Now let's try the phone bill. So, okay, let's see here, version control. Demonstrated that a simple phone call object can be committed. Yep, can be things. Okay. Now let's try a phone bill, I guess. Java class, phone bill. Oh yeah, I yell at the computer. Which I really shouldn't do. If they get upset, we're all in such trouble. Abstract phone bill of my phone call. And now with methods, sure. Default serialization is a 2-string, correct? No. Default serialization is a byte representation. And so what they do is they use Java reflection to go through and basically look at all the fields and serialize those values. And if you've got an object, it'll serialize that all the way down, and it comes up with a binary, basically a binary stream representation of the object. So it's not text-based. Get customer, return my customer, add phone call. Okay, we will just have, well, actually we'll say this, we'll say return this dot calls, and then we'll create a field, This will be a new array list. And then we'll just say this.calls.add call. We'll do this, and now we'll change some things about our calculator activity. Now we'll put in a phone call. Let's see here. Call here, and then we'll, it's getting hard to read. Phone bill. Bill equals new phone bill. I don't need a customer name, it's got it hard coded. Bill.add call, add phone call to call. And now I'll say intent.put extra in the phone bill. I'll put the bill. And now over here in my main activity, I'm going to have the same thing. I can make this code nicer. Phone bill, and this is going to be a phone bill. And I'm going to change the variable result type to that. I'm going to call this. This is still up. There we go. Phone bill, and then phone bill was that. Calculator. Back to main. Oops, that was weird. Back to main. Result was null. There's the phone call. There's the phone bill. So, so it looks like serialization is possible. I think one of the things that it looks like serialization is possible. But maybe if people aren't able to get it to work, it's because their objects really aren't serializable after all. So if you're using some sort of like maybe a sorted set with a comparator or something, and the comparator is not serializable, I don't know. And so then ping me offline, maybe we can figure out what's going on with your serializable objects and why they're not serializable. But this appears to work anyway. And so then it's like kind of a nice way to pass things in between, better than having to have like each field its own extra or whatever. Now let's see here, a question. Let's see here. Someone saying that it's not recognizing the abstract phone bill class. Have you added that stuff to your Gradle files to be able to use my code? After I check this in, I'll quick go to, yeah, so yeah, we had to do that. So yeah, like one of the things we discovered, or it was, I guess I did it after class or something. There are a couple of posts earlier up in the Project 5 channel that talk about a couple of necessary changes that you need to make to your Gradle files in order to be able to use my code. We probably should have done this as a class. I totally forgot about it though. So yeah, sorry, I demonstrated that you can, actually wait, some history, a simple phone bill. Yes. Okay. Let's see here, 8 o'clock. A couple more things. So, so we've demonstrated serialization. That might be a nice way to pass objects back and forth between the activities, is doing that. And yeah, I designed my abstract classes are serializable just for this kind of reason. So that if you want to use serialization with it, you can. You couldn't in projects 2 and 3 and 4 because I wanted a text file format, but this is a binary format. So feel free to use that. See here, one other thing I wanted to do was I wanted to add a new type of widget. I want a list view, and so this is a bunch of Well, a bunch of objects. Landscape versus portrait layouts. What do you mean? How to react to? So if my portrait goes from if my orientation goes from portrait to landscape, how to redraw it, or how do you make something responsive? I think I have time for that tonight. I recommend that you go and look that up on your own. I'm gonna have this wrap content, and then I'm going to, as per complaining, lay it out. Yeah. Okay. Let's. Oops. Wait a second. What was that? Yeah. Don't worry about trying to get it to look super nice. Really, my threshold for rotation is that your app doesn't crash or like lose all of its data or something like that. If it looks, if the UI doesn't readjust, that's fine for this project. How do you want us to attach our mockups to the POAs? Just add it to the email. I think that'll be fine. Attach it to the email as a PDF or something I can read. This view, pardon me. Was it saying this view is not constrained? Yes. How do I unnamed? Do I need to give it a name first? I guess I'll just go to the XML. And I'll just, well, it's not really what I want now, is it? Oops. Let's see here. That's probably like ugly because I didn't get that right. Let me, there we go. And now I'll move this one up. And then this one, yeah, that looks good. Well, actually, wait a second. This one, instead of this, I want that constraint to this one. Really? I want constraint to that one. Or not. We'll see how that looks. Okay, so then I've created a new list view. I want to give it an ID of plus ID. By the way, the plus ID means, hey, this is creating an ID as opposed to referencing another ID. And I will call this results. Yeah. Okay, so now when I go to design, it's got something called results. That's cool. Okay, so now, okay, so Listview. Let's learn about Listview. Listview. So this is a vertically scrollable content of views. Basically, there is within this there are multiple views that you can then scroll through. It displays a list of other things. Recycler view is another way of doing it. It's a little more complex, but it's probably what you want to use if you're like going through like thousands and thousands of elements. Okay, so you create one of these. Now, the interesting thing about this is that because it displays multiple widgets inside itself as a container, it uses this thing called an adapter to generate its contents. So what you do, yeah, and so then what you want to do here is inside the class, we are going to get our list view. Oops, list view. We're going to call it results equals find id r.id.results. And then we're going to say results.set adapter, and we're going to create, we're going to call it a results adapter, new results adapter. This will be a new class right here. We're going to create an inner class for it. This implements the list adapter. Is list adapter? I don't remember. Should this list adapter take? Well, actually, we should probably yeah. Okay, so it's got some things to help out, like this this base adapter right here. And actually, this is all in the notes. Let me see if I can find Listview here. Actually, let me find adapter. What? Oh, I thought I had a whole. Huh. Could have sworn I had way more content on the adapters. Okay. We will have it extend base adapter. Base adapter. Nice. Okay, and so in order to use this, you basically have to say, hey, this is there's a couple of things. You want to say, okay, hey, here's the widget at this position, and then here's what data is at the widget. I thought there was something like an array adapter or something. Array adapter. Yeah, there it was. Adapter. Yeah. And this will be, our results are going to be doubles. There, that makes it much easier. And so then, well, no, I guess we don't want, yeah, sure. And we want that. Okay, so our context, yeah, we'll set all that in. Let's see here. Oh yeah, and also, remind me again how that works. So basically what this does is says, okay, hey, we've got this adapter object, which, what does it say? Maybe static. Yeah, make it static. And when you create, when you add one of these, the first thing you want is the context, which is going to be the activity, and then you want the ID of a resource. So you want r.id dot something which represents a I'm pretty sure you want to be like the text view that's displayed here. So let's see here. Do we have a good example of it here? Here it, yeah. Okay, so it's like r.layout.list item is usually what you use. So we'll just say r.layout.list item. Oops. Well, I thought, no, there's another way to do it. Say Android.r.list item, don't you? Android. Oops. So there's a whole bunch of built-in Android.r list layout list item activity list item simple list item 1. I think that's good enough. And then you actually want your data, and so then let's just have some numbers here. Equals list dot of 1, 2, 3. This is a little bit of magic here, and boy, I thought I could have sworn I'd gone into the lectures. The whole idea is that, hey, this is the adapter needs a widget, a view to hold on to use to display everything, and that's the reference to it right there. Oops, what doesn't it like? Ugh. Okay, it doesn't. You don't have the right language level. I don't want to change the language level right now. So new array list that, and just say numbers dot add 1.0. Just don't need all those parentheses. 1.0 numbers dot add 2.0. Let's see what that does. to do a full deploy. Oops, complaining about something. What was complaining about? Oh, there it is. 1.0, 2.0. Let's add another one and just see. We'll quick update it. It's applying the changes. 3.0. Great. So now it's got this list of stuff. As a matter of fact, let's just put a big old list in there to see how it scrolls. For double d equals 0.0 while d is less than 100.0 d. Can I say d plus plus? Interesting. Cool. Yep, okay, good. And you can scroll through, oops, all this kind of slowly, except that my scroll's not very happy right now. Okay. So nice. Okay, more stuff than you want, and then your launch calculator button's a little weird, but this is cool. Okay, now we have the basics of an adapter. So this is listing all of your objects. I'm going to check that in. Add a list view backed by a simple, by an adapter, with an adapter backed by an array of objects. Question. So how is the set adapter function getting reference to the list view you created? It doesn't. Well, I mean, you call it on the list view, right? The results here is the list view. No problem. No need to apologize. I went really fast. This is getting kind of complex. Plus, it's getting late. So, but I'm doing this for a reason, because what I want to do is the following. Now I want to say I want to make numbers not a local variable. I want to promote it to a field, and I'm going to call it results. Actually, I'm not going to call it results. I'm going to call this results view. I rename this one results view. I'm going to call this one a field, and I'm going to call it results. And I'm going to initialize this stuff in the constructor. This is going to be final. And I'm going to, yeah, I can put it in. Either that or on create. Yeah, I'm going to put it on create. I'm going to take it away in a minute, so it doesn't really matter. And it was already on create. Okay. I'm not going to put it. No, I'm going to put it in the constructor. Now, what am I going to do? Sorry. I am feeling indecisive. I'm going to constructorize it after all. Initialize a constructor. Results. Now I'm going to put that stuff back in. Okay, make sure that it still works as I expect. I don't know, maybe that. Okay. Cool. Okay, so now this is going to store like the data in my activity. So I am going to, I'm going to get rid of all of this, and I'm going to initialize it up here, array list. And now, here's what I'm going to do. When I get a result, when I get one of these, now in addition to the sum, I am going to say results dot add result dot get value. And what doesn't it like? Yeah, I suppose, but it's not going to give me a null. And will that be sufficient, or do I need to go tell the list view to update itself? I can never remember. No, it's not going to know that it changed. How do I do that? Synchronize adapter. No, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, it added it to the array, but oops. But it didn't tell the widget to like refresh itself. So let's see here. I forget how that works. Array adapter. That's all the same. Okay. Yeah, so data adapter view. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Oh yeah, right. I did that. And okay, I'm losing patience. I'm just gonna try it. So here's the thing. I added it to the array, but now I want to refresh the UI so that it sees it. So I'm gonna see if I can get that list view again. List view and equals find view by ID r.id.results. And oops, there you go. List view dot is like a refresh. What is there? Get adapter. Synchronize, smooth scroll. Oh, darn it. How do I do this? Here we go. Notify data set changed. Thank you. Notify base adapter, notify data set change. Notify data. Deferred notify. Okay. Maybe that. Defer. Because list view is an abs list view. It's not. Okay, we'll give that a try. Oh wait, I'm sorry. That's on the adapter, isn't it? Dir. Get adapter, and then data set. Register data set observer. Unregister. Let me go look at that base adapter. Actually, let's open it up here. Base adapter. Yeah, let's adapter. And so you're saying notify data set. Oops. Notify. Jeez, data set change. Nope, I'm not seeing it. Inherited methods? Is it from? It's from adapter, but it's yeah. See, it's not a base adapter. So how does one? Oh wait, no. Okay, notify data set changed. There you go. So how come I'm not seeing that here? Right, get adapter returns a list adapter. Notify. What am I looking at here? And so then this is, oh, it's just a plain old adapter. No, it's inherited. Base adapter, list adapter. Yeah, so it ought to have notify. Sorry, what am I doing wrong here? This is the list adapter. Is enabled. Get autofill options. I'm just not seeing what I expect to be seeing. So, okay here, one more thing. So I guess I'll go up when I create the adapter. Oh, my results adapter. Results is an array adapter, not a list adapter. Oh. What's the difference between a list adapter and an array adapter? That's probably what I want. And list adapter works with Listview. Okay. List adapter. Wait, what was that? Yep, and what does it take? That's crazy. Isn't there something that's a nicer subclass? Yeah, array adapter is a list adapter. Array adapter. No, it's not a list adapter. Known indirect subclasses. Base adapter. Oh, so array adapter. No, you shouldn't have to cast because they're public methods that are inherited. So, I mean, how come? Oh, because I added. Okay, that's right. Okay, sorry. You're supposed to add it to the adapter, not to the underlying array. That would explain it. Okay, I just have it wrong. Okay, so I do want an array adapter here. I do actually. I don't even need that thing. Yeah, I don't think I even need this class because I'm not really doing anything with it. So let me get rid of this results adapter. And instead up here, instead of having my double results, I'm going to have my results be my adapter. I'm going to add things directly to that. That's what I was doing wrong. I'm going to call it results. And this is just going to be an array adapter of double. And then this is, I'm not going to have this one. I don't know. Oh, what does it like? What does it need? This is going to be an array adapter because I got rid of that class. Array adapter of double. Don't need this guy anymore. Okay, and now, when I say results.add, results is the adapter. It has an add method. And then when you add it through the adapter, then I think it notifies everybody. And that's why it doesn't have a public notify, because you're supposed to just go through this. Sounds mildly credible. Oops, got to restart for real. Oh yeah, I added a field. Okay. Calculator. 3 + 2 is 5. Back to main. Hey, 5. Okay, launch calculator. Oh wait, it's got to have those other toasts. I'm taking out these toasts. It was neat that, whatever. Oops, gonna do it again. I'm gonna say 6 + 7. Oops, 6 + 7 = 13. Back to main. 13. Okay, good. So now we've demonstrated how we can send data back to an activity and then add it to a list of of things. Okay, so let's do that. So let's see here. Populate the list view with the results of calculations. Okay. I have one more thing. Are you guys okay without taking a break? I think I've got another 20 minutes of content, or do you really need a break? Got a couple of yeses. I got one no. Okay, let's take 10 minutes then. I got a couple of people who are push through. Because the last thing I want to show is how to persist this stuff. Okay, let's do it. So I'm sorry, that one person. So if you really need a break, then go walk around. You can always watch the video later or catch up on the code that's pushed up to GitHub. Okay, so then, awesome. We've got like all the state. We've got the 5 and the 13. And so then if I kill my app though, or actually even if I, let's see here. I bet if I rotate it, do I lose it? No, I don't actually, because it probably do. But if I kill my app and then I launch it again, then I launch it again. Yep, here we go. You can do it. Oh, come on. Sorry. Phone bill. I launch it. It's all gone. I want to save my numbers. So I want to save some stuff out to disk. Okay, sounds good. So then I want to overwrite some stuff. I want to say, oops, I want to overwrite some stuff. I want to say on stop, on start. Let's see what on destroy does. Let's see when that's invoked. Actually, wait a second. So I launched the calculator. On destroy is not invoked, but when I kill the app, ooh, on destroy is still not invoked because I wasn't on that activity. Why wasn't on destroy invoked? Oh, there's also on save. Oops, I keep doing that. On save, on post create. Would you please just there? Nope, that's not what I wanted, I guess. Yeah, bother. What I wanted was. Well, that's crazy. Okay. Oh, I thought there was a way just to filter on. It's like, don't show me get menu inflator when I've typed on. But I guess there's not a way to do that. Start us on a post resume, on configuration change, on title change, on support, on repair. This is all stuff from the app, fragment activity, component activity. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, on save instance state. Well, use that. Nah. So let's see here. Well, on stop. I don't know. Override on stop. When does this? I assume that gets a callback. Let's just say log.info. Oops. Log.I. Okay. And this will be main activity. Oh, gosh. Activity. And then stop on stop. And then we'll have this on destroy. With the proper good. Okay. So now if I need to debug it again because I've added code. Launching again. Aha. Okay, that stopped it. Now I haven't killed it yet. So I will continue on there. And now when I fully, oops, have it go away. Okay, I'm not getting a callback on destroy. So on stop seems like a place where we should probably save it. Okay, so let's save our stuff here. Now, how does one save our results? So let's see here, super on stop, and I think we want that second. So save results. Okay, now in the assignment, where is the assignment? Which tab is that? So that would be this one. I have a reference here to this page, writing internal storage. And so there is this, here again, Android is a real operating system. Apps run just like real programs do. And there's a file system that apps have access to. Now, there's lots of permissions to make sure that if the app is going to do anything outside of its playground, that it have the right permission to do so. But it's a file system just like anything else. So there's a thing called the get files dir that you can get. So is this? Yeah, and you get that from the context, which is the the activity, and it's just a file. So let's go back and do it. So this file will be the dir, and then you say this actually Java file. Yep, and then you say get data dir, and now let's open up a file. File, and we'll call it new file, and we'll call it results. .txt. No, we will call it results.txt. And in the data dir. And now it's a file. We'll just create it like we would otherwise. So we'll do a let's do a print writer pw equals new print writer, and we will new file writer around our file, and yes, we want it to automatically flush. Oops, true. And this we're going to throw some exception or something. I'm just going to add it here because there'll probably be multiple things that do that. And hey, let's do fancy try catch stuff so that oops, I don't need that thing there. So the print writer will be closed, all nice and friendly like. Oh, doesn't it like? Oh, maybe it doesn't understand that language syntax yet, or maybe what is this? Nope, it does not like that language syntax. Fair enough. Okay, fine. Go do it the old-fashioned way. Try, and then doesn't have too much. Split declaration of assignment, put the declaration up here. This is why they introduced that new language syntax. This old language syntax is just awful. Finally, if pw not equal null, pw.close equals null, print writer. Okay, and then let's see here. Can I get this dot results dot? Can I get an iterator? How do I get all of the? You already have access to this code, right? This is all in my summer 2020, so it's the same repository that I've been using all along, right? GitHub. Yep. So let's see here. How do I get? Oh, is there no way nicely to iterate over all this stuff? Get context, get autofill options, get items, get item, get position. Okay, lame. Okay. For int I equals 0, y I is less than results dot size, get hey, is there no way to iterate over this? Let me go look again. There's gotta be. How do I? Ugh. Sorry, I am looking for this thing and okay, count. There we go. Get count I plus plus and then pw.println printline and then results dot get item at I. And then, well, we'll flush it anyway, flush. Okay, let's see here. What does it like? Oh wait, can use automatic resource management? Well, why didn't you say so? Okay, I must have just had the syntax wrong then. That's way nicer looking. Okay, good deal. Okay, so now let's do that and let's run it again. Let's put a breakpoint here. Oh wait, doesn't like. Oh yeah, unhandled exceptions. So we will run this with a try catch, and we will say log dot. Well, actually, we should say toast. Let the user know. Make text with this, and then while writing file e dot get message length long dot show. Oops. Dot show. Cool. And then, okay, let's give this a debug. Oh, interesting. So it saves the results. Yeah, boy, on, so right, even though, yeah, okay, that'll be fine, I guess. We'll save it there. Okay, well, let's see here. I don't think I've got anything yet. So it creates this, but then doesn't write anything. Yep, doesn't write anything. So it's an empty file. Well, nothing wrong with that. Somewhere here, there used to be a way to browse the file system. I was expecting it to be nice. Oh yeah, here, device file explorer. Here it is. Cool. It is in what is it? Data user 0. Data app. Oops. Oh, maybe it didn't create anything yet. It might not have created anything. On the bottom right, it's down here, the device file explorer. It's right here. So what have I got? Yep, that's that. So it hasn't written anything yet, so maybe it's not so useful after all. Okay, so now it's gone off to this other thing, and now we will have 5 plus 6 equals 11. We'll go back to main. Yeah, we don't need to debug that anymore. It's got 11. Now if I go and stop it, okay, now I've got some results, I think. So now let's see here. So get the data dir. So the data dir, oops, get the data dir. is /data /user. So I'm not data. I'm not seeing user. What am I missing? The data dir should exist. And data dir, and the dir is /data /user /0. But I'm not seeing user. Huh. That's on the emulator. Data. Oh, maybe. Yes. No? Okay. Oh, interesting. So it's, yep, it's in this other place, I guess. Okay, results.txt. There it was, created. It's got 0 bytes right now. Now I'm going to write one thing out to it. I'm going to flush it. I'm going to close it. I'm going to continue on. And now I think I can open it. Yeah, it downloads it. And there it is. It's got 11 in it. And that's your number right there. So let's depatch the debugger. Run it a couple more times. I'm back. That's calculator. Got 4 plus 9 equals 9. And we'll go back to the main, and that will save it. Oops. Yeah, that was weird. Yes. So wait a second. Now if I try it again, I say 4 plus 9 equals 13. I go back to main. I've got 19. I've got 3. In my file, I've got 9? That's a little surprising. Did it pause? It might have. So, okay, there's some stuff to debug here. But I mean, I think you can see what you need to do is what triggers the write is the on stop. And so then, yeah, what triggers the on stop? I thought I was seeing it. Oh, right. So probably what I need to do is I need to save the results. Actually, that would be even better. So someone just came back. You might also, so instead of relying on, yeah, you know what is actually way better than this though? Why rely on, why rely on the on the life cycle of the activity when you can just write the data as soon as it needs to be, so as soon as it's changed. So I'm going to get rid of this on stop method. That's, this is kind of, it's kind of error prone. And instead, I'm just going to save the results as soon as I add to the model here, add to this thing. I'm just going to do it and then just save it here. I kind of like that better. Oh, now I need to. Okay, wait a second. I want to get that try catch that I had back. I want all this. And now down here, this is where I want to say this. Yeah, and that way, I mean, every time I write to the, I display in the UI, I'm also going to write it out to disk. So I like that better. Let's run that again. Oops, I'm doing it from scratch. Come on. 5 plus 65. Sure, huge numbers. Now I go back to main. I've got 70, and now I've got 70 plus 60. It's 130. Now I've got both of those. And now if I look at my file, I've got both of those. That seems like a better way to do it. So let me save what I'm doing here. So now it's persist the results of the calculator when they are passed back to the main activity. Okay, now, of course, if you you stop your activity, oops, and you restart it. Oh, it remembered it? I'm surprised. Why did it remember it? It certainly didn't read it from the file. So maybe it didn't destroy it as much as I thought it did. Okay, now it's gone. So, okay, something must have happened there. Okay, right, all my data is gone. Oops. Well, so what do I want to do? I think on create, I just want to have code that reads from the file. And you know what? You know how to do that. You've been reading from files since like the second week of class, so I'm not going to show you how to do that. But I hope this gives you a better idea of the kinds of things that you can do with Android, how you might do it, some of the widgets you might use, some of the APIs you might use, how you structure your code, how you send data back and forth between different screens. Anything else for tonight? Nope. Okay then. Well, to recap, next week is the final exam. The final exam comes in two parts. The first part is a written part. It's about as difficult as 2 quizzes. Any of the lecture content is fair game. There'll be an emphasis on the things you did in your projects, but anything in the lectures can be mentioned. The second part will be a group activity where you'll be collaborating with a handful of other people in the class to solve an interesting problem, and you'll relay that solution back to me in an email. And also due next week is Project 5. And so this is the Android project. Please, 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 I hope everybody is able to run run the Android development environment. If you have waited this long, I don't know what I can do for you because it's far too late to try to figure out something else. Yes, Mark, it's just one submission for the entire group. We put everybody's name on it, and I'll know whose it is. Actually, this is all explained next week. So, I showed you a lot of the pieces parts tonight. It sounds like this was illuminating for many of you. I'm glad. Hope you also had to see how much documentation there is on Android, and so then it's not just don't rely just on my notes. There's all sorts of other good stuff out there. Okay, and that's it. So then, it's getting kind of dark out here, so it must be time for me to go back inside, plus the mosquitoes are coming out. Thank you all very much for coming. We will finish everything up next week, but in the meantime, please feel free to reach out to Slack. We'll see you then. Bye now.